Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Thoughts Podcast. I'm your host, Witty, and I'm chilling with.
Peace, Banda.
What's up, man?
Great. How you doing? It's good to see you
Again.
Yeah, it's good to see you again. Welcome here.
It's good to have you back on the podcast.
It's been a minute, but I'm happy. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to join with the community again. So yeah.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
What's new?
A lot of things. We just finished the Bahai fast.
Okay.
So that's something. And there's a lot more things that are coming up. A lot of things that I think we're going to get to see happen in this coming year. So be on the lookout.
Yeah. So yeah, Bahai.
Yes, I'm a Bahai.
So would you briefly talk about what is Bahai? Because I know people will be like Bahai. Bahai.
Actually, one idea is that we're trying to get to a point where people should be able to not get surprised when you say Bahai faith. They'll be like, well, what is that? They should be able to just say, oh yeah, I know the Baha'is. Yeah, but basically the Bahai faith is a religion like any other religions, Islam, Christianity, and so on. And the faith began, or it has its inception in Iran, and its prophet founder is called Baha'u'llah. That's why the followers are called Baha'is. So I am a Bahai, and I'm a follower of Baha'u'llah. And of course, like I mentioned, we had the Bahai fast, which just ended, the 19-day fast. And the Bahai faith has certain principles that are followed, that we believe in. We have, for instance, the belief in the oneness of God, the oneness of religion, that religion is one, and that God is one, and that humanity is one. It doesn't matter what race you belong to, but that we are all equal before the eyes of God. So, that's a brief summary about it, but we can go into the details. But so that's
yeah. I'm sure by now people understand that it's a religion also, because before people were like, "What is Bahai?" Yeah. People even had to assume it's ritual stuff or satanic. Yeah, but now we are getting there.
Yeah,
people are
getting to understand. No, it's getting clearer by the day. Others thought it's like a church. Others thought it's some cult. There's all these superstitions and issues around it. But now it's getting more clearer. As people get to participate more in Bahai activities, they get to see what Baha'is are about, and they're like, this is cool stuff. So,
Yeah, so what's up, man?
Man, I'm good. How are you holding up? How have you been? We've not spoken in a long time.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Yeah,
okay.
We're pushing.
Okay, that's good. It's good to have you in Lusaka.
Yeah. I actually come here, I've been coming here regularly because of some weeks. So it's here
good
to do one or two things and then go back to my favorite place, which is the farm.
We should come to the farm one time.
Do a podcast from there in the field.
Yes. We should do an episode, one of the episodes.
Yeah. So I thought we'd talk about criticism. We've seen how people handle criticism. And we can see it from even the internet itself, like public figures. It can be anywhere.
Yeah.
So I just wanted us to touch on that. What do you think about criticism? Handling it. How should one handle it?
It should be looked at from both sides. Because also criticism, there is positive criticism and negative criticism, right? So one focus should be, what is this kind of criticism? And then you realize, this is positive criticism. Then now you start to evaluate, what am I being criticized about? And then you use that to then improve certain aspects of your life. So you could be, for instance, in a business. You are running a business. You sell clothes. You sell whatever that you do. And then people are saying, I think you are too pricey, for what you're selling. Others would say, no, maybe this is not my target market. But there are certain things that fall into a certain kind of category. And so if you're doing certain things and they fall in a particular category, there's certain standards that you can attach to it. So then you are going to constantly get feedback and sometimes get criticized for some of the things that you do. So then you just have to realize, is this criticism positive or it's negative? Then you have to use it to improve and not use it to be resentful. You know, sometimes when people get criticized, they get angry, they're talking about me, why are they saying this about me, and so on.
And I feel like the way you've explained it, say criticism can be positive or negative. I feel like that's the part where people don't get.
Exactly.
Like criticism is not only bad.
Yeah.
There's also a positive side of it.
Yeah.
When someone is criticizing you, it's not always them spitting in bad light.
Yeah, exactly. The point of it, because he's spoken about me, so it's negative. You know, like why is he saying this? But like you could even maybe think of like you're a photographer, you're a videographer, and someone says, I mean, your work you could improve if you do this and this, and then you say, no, he's criticizing my work. No, but there's a possibility for you to improve your work, and so we have to look at criticism in that way. But also we are just we are becoming a generation that also does not appreciate correction very much. You know, because sometimes you are criticized in a corrective way, so you are told, no, this is not, I think you can take on this path, but we just feel like we know it all, so when we get criticized, it's always pushed to the bad side, but there's always positivity to criticism. Because
even then, like even when you get criticized, like you have a choice.
Exactly.
Just listen to whatever the person is saying. Like, okay, does it align with what I want to do? Or is it making sense? But if you don't do that, then you just look at it as criticism, and you won't see if that person what he's saying is might help you or not.
Exactly.
You won't be able to say that because you've already made up your mind that this one is here to attack me or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. So we have to improve in this aspect, especially this generation. I mean, you and me should improve a little bit more on this aspect. But I mean, I think also we are learning. You know, so we'll get better with time, and we hope that we do get better. Because even this podcast, you remember the last episode we did? It was gaining some fire on TikTok. People are saying a lot of things, you know, and we were even thinking we should do another episode.
I wanted us to do a podcast next because I wanted us to speak on some of the comments, you know.
Exactly.
Like make clear of some of the stuff that we spoke on. Because I thought that was going to be a good idea to interact with them.
Exactly.
But due to circumstances, we couldn't.
But I mean, we could try and see how to do it. We could even incorporate it maybe at the end of this episode. We could do a small segment where we just explain some of the thoughts. But so when you look at the comment section, it had a lot of things. You know, people were saying a lot of things, and some of them you would look at them and say, "Hey, okay, I mean, he's right." You know, so there are some of those things. Others were just speaking like very negative of what the topic is about. They start to say, "Oh, but you're dressed like this." They start talking about other things. So I mean, so you have to, and also you have to know that when you rise to a certain extent, I mean, it's not that you make it, but when you just move beyond average, then you attract criticism. I mean, it's a natural phenomena that you attract a level of criticism. And it is up to you now to then say, this criticism that I'm getting, am I going to use it positively or am I going to use it negatively? Because someone can even say something bad about you, but you use whatever they've said about you to even improve yourself. You know, one example is Chile One, right? Like he came under fire recently on social media. People were talking about him that his beard was unkempt. He went to see the president and so on. You know, they said a lot of things about him, but he didn't. Yeah, he didn't respond.
To the extent where people were saying this one doesn't bad.
Exactly. Like, you know, they said all manner of stuff. But he didn't respond to that negativity. He just went on a live feed and got a haircut and was looking amazing. So sometimes whatever is said about you, you could just use it positively and just
so you can say he handled that criticism well.
Yeah, very much. I actually feel that is the best way to handle criticism, even from a professional standpoint. Like I am a communication specialist and strategic communications expert. That sometimes when your brand comes under fire because of something that you do, it is not always that you engage and start to explain that, oh, this is what I meant or this is what I'm doing. Sometimes just take corrective action, and people will get to appreciate the corrective action that has been taken, which is what he did. So I feel that was very professional of him, of how he handled that situation.
Yeah, and I also like the approach.
Yeah.
But again, when you look at it from another angle, people like, again, there was still criticism after he went to the barber shop.
Exactly.
They were like, oh, so we now have to force you to look clean.
Exactly. So we have to remind you what were all these things. Yeah.
So people will talk regardless.
People will talk regardless. So they tell you to do something and you do it. They still criticize that you have done what they said you should do.
Yeah.
So people always be like that. I mean, but. You just also have to understand, like I was saying, that when you move to a certain extent, there will always be criticism, and so you just have to get to understand how do you handle it, how do you deal with it, and so on, and then you move ahead.
The back and forth doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
Especially for public figures.
It doesn't.
Like, it doesn't. You want to go back and forth with the person in the comment section. Mm-hmm. And then one thing I've realized, people in the comment section do that deliberately.
Yeah.
They want to get into you. Like, they want to they're rage baiting you.
Exactly.
And then you fall for it.
Yeah.
You reply, and then you shout for me.
Yes. They start to engage.
Yeah. He's responded to me.
Yeah. Like, they want to provoke you to a certain extent. And so you have to get to realize that, how do I deal with provocation? Because it's like, even just in a normal day, you're going to realize that you're in the station or you're wherever in your public life, you realize that there's people who want to provoke you. And it's not everyone you're going to respond to or want to fight back or do what. The same is in the comment section. Some just say things that are completely off. Others you just tell to say, but this one is just provoking the situation. So you have to get to understand. But someone was saying, which is something a little bit harsh to say, but they were saying that even those that were the last in class now have a phone and have something to say about any situation. So you don't expect them to be very insightful on certain subjects. They will just say whatever.
Changed.
Exactly. It's just that now they have a smartphone and they have some data to be able to talk about certain things. So
people can talk on this internet.
Yeah.
And I talk about the internet. There is this clip that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
The clip about the lady bragging about wigs getting. Getting, I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean,
even there the comments were out.
Yes, so much. But I picked something from that because there were also several reactions to that.
Can you just quickly explain the video to those, just to give context?
So there's this idea that it's a TikTok trend that a gentleman sent some money to a lady, let's say 1,000 kwacha for her hair, and then she then does a video that clarifies how much her hair costs, which is like 6,000, 5,000, and 10,000, and so on. And I'm not a hair expert, so I wouldn't know if that is correct or not. But from the many comments in their severality, you see that there's others who are for that. That is very little money. A man can give you that kind of money, which in a way also shows just like how relationships have been commercialized to become very transactional. That you get this and you receive that and so on. But also further, that you get to see is this idea of just people saying whatever there is. Others are saying hair can't cost that much. Others are saying, oh yeah, that's the kind of hair that I want, and things like that. So from that, you just get to realize that there's always just a way that the internet gets to drive certain narratives. Because imagine you are a young man and you're pushing and you're starting out in life, and you now start to think you can't assist a lady with the 1,000 because hair costs 9,500 or 10,000 kwacha. So there's these dynamics to read that we also have to get to understand and see that we must be very practical with certain things. I was having a conversation with a friend about it. She's fairly successful young lady. She recently bought a very expensive car, and she was telling me there is no way that a young man in their 20s is going to afford hair for 15,000 or 25,000 to buy for a young lady, because then it requires a little bit of so much, especially in our Zambian context. It's not many young people who can afford that. A few can afford that kind of hair, but also it's the generality of the people in our numbers. We cannot afford that kind of thing. So then what do you do in that case? Do you stop? Do you continue sending the 1,000 and they post you on the internet that you're sending so you see those kinds of dynamics to it. I mean, that's the kind of age we're living in, but I'm hoping that it doesn't discourage people to get into meaningful relationships and finding love and settling down, because it has become very, very commercial. The same even for Valentine's. I was seeing on the internet at that time. I was not in the country. I was in Zimbabwe, and you could see that there is already a trend that, show us what they've given you, what have you received, and so one who has received the most is celebrated, and the one that has received the least is laughed at and made to feel as if their partner is not serious and all these things, and there's all these conversations on social media and the internet, but all those things have dynamics to it that have to be appreciated, because you see, like, there's going to be a level of effort that comes from a young man and a young lady who are in a relationship. There are certain things they can't be able to do because they are young, and over time they'll be able to do. But society has placed a particular expectation on them that even when you are 19 years old, you should buy your girlfriend a Range Rover or whatever, these things. It's a crazy, crazy thing.
Yeah, and this is what's resulting into these young ladies to go for this sugar daddies.
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
It's for the money, because they've seen that their age mates are not providing what they expect to be provided for.
Yeah.
Why sugar?
Yeah.
Just to get that 15 pin or 20 pin,
hair and everything.
Yeah.
Because we're still starting out in life, and I don't think many young people want to spend 20,000 on hair. That's one piece of hair. It's not two, it's one. And over time, you can only keep it for so much. At a certain point you have to get another one and another one. How many young people?
Yeah, imagine.
It's crazy. But then they go to someone who's worked for like 40 years and has retired and has that kind of big money.
Yeah.
Can afford to do those things.
That's a person you're competing with as a youngster.
Yeah. And my message to the young guys is just like, don't get even offended by those things, or don't let it get to you that I'm in a space where I can't afford this kind of hair now, because you're just 19, you're just 20.
Yeah,
it's okay not to be able to afford those kind of things.
Yeah, because some of these guys are getting pressurized, and then they end up getting loans.
Yeah,
like who gets a loan for? I don't know, you get a loan just to give the girl so that he gets whatever.
No,
a loan.
No.
For an allowance.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Allowance. What do you think about girlfriend allowance?
Girlfriend allowance also is one of those commercial things that have been commercialized. There's nothing wrong with assisting your partner.
Yeah.
You can always, but if it becomes something that is so commercial in the relationship that you have to sort of like have a consistent stipend that you are paying, because then in a way like you are paying to be loved. So your partner is on a salary because they love you. So then you every month pay them a salary because they love you.
Yeah.
And for me that idea is like, I look at it and I'm thinking, how does this thing work?
Yeah.
Because I don't see a problem with just assisting your partner without a particular pattern and model. But to say that at the end of every month there is a certain amount that must be paid to a lady because she's in a relationship, And it has become like it's a job. So she doesn't do anything. All she does is just be in your life, and she has.
Yeah, and we are talking about you dating. You're just dating.
Yeah, you're just dating. You're just
like,
dating.
You don't live together.
Exactly.
You're dating this person.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, we see these content, like, where people are doing street interviews asking this, how much for allowance? Hey, 3 pin. Yeah, sure. So it seems like that has been normalized. It doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't. I don't know in any way you want to put it, but it doesn't to anticipate that you want to get into a relationship to get paid, because then it becomes that if I am here today and I'm offering a 2,000, and when you come with a 5,000, what happens? Because then there's
you go for a bigger check.
You go for a bigger check. You go for a bigger paying opportunity.
Yeah.
So then even that 3,000 or someone with a 10,000 comes, they move to the next one. That is why there isn't like authentic connections that are being built.
This is why these days relationships are hard.
Yeah,
because of this same thing.
They are. I mean, it's difficult to be in a first they'll cheat on you. Even when you are paying that monthly contribution that you have to pay, you find that people who pay that money are cheated on by people who are not even paying. So the other guy is not even paying anything, but this lady is cheating with the other guy who is not even paying. But this guy is working extremely hard to find this money and pay and so on. So it's become a very chaotic kind of space that needs a lot of reimagining and reconceptualizing, thinking about getting back to values and morals and just getting things right. Otherwise, where we're at now is it's not really a good place.
Yeah, no, it's not.
No, it's not a good place.
It's really bad.
It's not a good place.
Yeah.
There's work to be done, and I hope that something could be done.
Yeah. Did you see this Nanka? The new app by the government launched. The Imisepela app.
Yes, I saw it. Actually, I haven't registered. I have it on my phone. I think it's a beautiful idea, if you ask me. Though I also feel that it needs some working on certain aspects, because, for instance, if you open the job section, it is not jobs tailored for the youth. It's just all the job opportunities that are there. So you find that maybe this job wants, that's why people would even argue that no, they want 7 years experience, but it's not a job that is tailored for the youth. It is a job on the job market. People are hiring, they want a director, they're going to put it on the app. But that is not curated for young people. So for me, I would even age or lobby the guys that are working on the back end of the app to look at opportunities that are specifically for the young people. So even if it's the jobs, they streamline the jobs to the ones that just fit in the category of young people, so that the app just becomes very relevant to young people, unlike just being a platform where you just go and look for jobs. Because then it just becomes like a Go Zambia jobs kind of app.
I wanted to say the same thing.
Yeah.
I downloaded the app, but I haven't signed up or explored it that much. Yeah, I wanted to say that. I wanted to ask you the question because you've seen the app. I wanted to ask that, is it not like any other apps out there which are meant to...
Yeah, I mean, it's a... Of course, it has other aspects to it. It has a grants component, and it has a loans component, I think. So it has the grants, the loans, and then the jobs. So if you now have a business idea and you want a loan, there's where you have to fill out certain information that is required. Then you have to upload a business plan, and then whatever amount you're asking for, and then of course I think they get to review it and then give you feedback and so on. But also what I saw is that when you enter all those details and then you submit, you don't get any confirmation of submission that your application...
It just goes. You don't know whether it's...
Yeah, so you don't know whether they've received it.
If it's submitted.
Yeah, and whether it's being processed, and whether it has been approved or it has been denied. You don't get to see that. So if that also could be worked on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think it would be something that is very helpful. So that then a person who has applied knows that, my business idea is under processing, and they have approved it, and what are the necessary next steps to take. But I think because it's new, so they probably maybe should gather enough feedback and just be able to work on it better. But it's something that could be very relevant to the youth.
Yeah, actually, so no, the complaints from people about the jobs, like the way you put it, it's not catering for the youth. A lot were complaining about the experience, 7 years experience. So it's the same as any other app.
Because where's the youth going to get 7 years experience? I mean, okay, some youth have 7 years experience. I have 8 years, so maybe that is. But it's also
the majority.
Yeah, it's also the majority. Because for me, I have 8 years experience because I started work before I got a degree. But if you count many young people of my age, if you count from when you complete degree program, you find that you just have 2-3 years experience. So that is fair that the majority of the young people don't have that much experience. But I know that from the institution that is posting that, their target is not only the youth. Then they're targeting everyone who's qualified. But if it's on the youth app, I think it's better that we have only what is for the youth, and then the applications are also reviewed like that. So I think it's a good play. You should sign up for it, and then so that more young people who sign up for it, becomes easier to provide feedback and also just
I'll do that today. I actually downloaded that. So these are the two things that you feel like they should improve on. The feedback on
feedback side, and then the job section. So that it's just for the youth, and then there's also, I think it's conferences. There's an aspect where you can participate in conferences. So I saw one part where when you log in, then you will see the conferences that are there. But I also saw that even on the conferences, I think they could check that, because there are certain aspects that are just like any other conference. Like there's this conference there, but I have not checked. I think in like 4 or 5 days. But the last time I checked, I think there was a conference for Comesa that was just like a youth conference, and I think that was good. But other conferences were just like any other. So even if they could also work on that there's these youth gathering to Youth Connect, is it Youth Indaba, all those are outlined like that.
Do you know that I just learned about the Indaba thing?
I mean, I saw the Indaba, but I have a lot of things to say about that Indaba. Because
I actually have someone that I need to talk to about that on this podcast.
If you can.
See, she's been participating, should be participating on. So I also have questions on it.
But also for me, I just feel like even to the general populace, who go to the Indaba, how do you have a youth Indaba? Because a youth Indaba is an engagement between the youth and the president, and so they're raising questions and the president is answering. But the level of noise, it is chaotic, man.
Or maybe it hasn't always been like that.
No. I think they had one last year, but it was almost the same.
It's like people get lost, forget the plot.
It's like a rally, man.
You forget what you're there for. You get too excited.
They are sloganeering, they are chanting things. The president has to tell them, keep quiet. No. I don't expect that from the youth who are looking to have a meaningful engagement with the head of state.
Because that's like one of the rare opportunities youth get to interact with the president. And
it comes once in 1 year. Okay? So that we only have it once. So now imagine how you have one afternoon with the president, and half the time he has to tell you to stop making noise. You are the ones who have invited him, and you want to present your problems to him. So you want to tell him, we have this problem, we have this problem, this problem. How are you dealing with this and this and this? And the other thing is that the people who don't make the noise are not even the youth from the outside world, like Matero. Majority of the people who go there are university students. How do you explain to me that this is the economist, this is the engineer behaving like this? No, it doesn't add up at all.
That's crazy.
I mean, I just look at, and I just feel like if they can't fix that, I can't go there, because I won't even be able to engage to say, okay, these are the issues, how do we? Because even at the Indaba, you want to engage with the people who are, of course, at the high table and everything, but also you want to network and connect with fellow youth. But if those are the youth, that is the caliber of youth who are screaming at the national function, what kind of engagement are you going to have with them?
Yeah.
You know. So I think youth can do better. We can do better in terms of utilizing opportunities like that. You know, I participated in a similar youth gathering organized by the African Peer Review Mechanism under the Pan-African Parliament in South Africa. It was very different from the youth Indaba that we saw in this country. Yeah. You know, we had youth from all over the continent, and they were engaging with members of the Pan-African Parliament and just discussing like continental issues and regional trade and movement of persons and goods. You could see the level of engagement that is very intellectual. We're discussing the matters, we're highlighting where are the issues, what are the challenges that the youth are facing. We are raising recommendations and saying the governments in Africa should look at this and this and this. These are some of the issues that we feel that if they are properly aligned, could create a better operating environment for the youth. But to go and just scream, for me, it's just like, no, we have work to do there. No. Yeah, so if even the organizers could maybe screen the process, because I saw even someone was raising some feedback that they had applied online, they got an acceptance email, but when they arrived, they didn't even have where to sit.
Yeah.
So you can imagine that kind of situation. So it's something that can be looked at and can be improved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually, okay, about the app, I feel like they should improve on some of the stuff that you've mentioned, and then someone should break that down. Like, not everyone understand these things.
Yeah,
like
true.
They shouldn't just leave it to these youth to figure it out for themselves.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
An information session, like, or training, even a short video, just explaining how the app works, and I think you're right.
Because already, like the loan part where people have to get loans, I feel like it's good that it's on the app.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people complain,
Yes.
But if you have a platform where you can just do it from home at your own time, so if more people know that you can actually do it on the app, let them get educated on how to go about it.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That's what I feel.
Because also when getting a loan, there are certain dynamics to it. What is the cost of the loan? You know, what is the repayment period, and things like that. That information is not there on the app. So if even that, like you're saying, when they are telling you how to go about it, they can even clarify certain aspects to these loans. Like, okay, when you get this loan, this is how you're going to repay it. You're going to pay it in this period. Is it 4 years? Is it 6 months? Is it whatever? And then so that you are kind of guided to how you approach it. I feel like that is going to be very helpful for many young people, because people have ideas and they could utilize these resources in a very positive way. So yeah, I think it's good that they should do that if they can. Yeah, it would be good to do that.
Yeah, and elections are coming. Are you voting?
Elections are coming. I don't know if I'm voting. Yeah. Because I didn't register to vote from Lusaka. Yeah, my voting station is still in Kawe, so I don't know if I'll vote. But I mean, pertaining elections, that's the most I can see. You know, I can't discuss further than that. Yeah.
So, I think we are coming to an end of this episode, and then I just want you to share on what we spoke about behind the scene, about you launches out there.
Oh yeah. So I mean, it's been a beautiful episode. I should mention. I think we have to do more episodes with it. We have to find each other in the mix of whatever we're doing and try and do more of this. Yeah. So basically, I'm launching what we're gonna call the Peace Banda Voice Academy. And it's going to be a platform where we're going to be training people in public speaking, because I have had people reach out to me requesting that I can train them in public speaking, but then also I wanted to just be a little bit more structured. So before you came, I was working on the notes, the trainer's notes, and also just the guide for the students on some of the sessions that we're going to be going through, and just properly structuring everything so that it becomes very beneficial and practical for those that will participate. So we are going to properly launch it soon. I think conversations have already advanced with certain friends, and so people should just be on the lookout. I think we're going to put it out on my social media platforms, just for those that are going to be interested and would want to undergo the training, then they would be able to participate. I think it's just one way that I feel that I could also be able to help others that are passionate about speaking, passionate about being able to share their story, and they are looking for a way that they can better communicate and deliver whatever they are hoping to do. So we are going to be launching that, and we are going to create a platform where we identify people with unique voices and be able to train them and refine them in a way that they can better deliver whatever they have to share.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
Hope.
I hope you register as well.
Yeah, I'll register. But how do they reach you?
Yeah, no. So for now, because I haven't really sorted out everything that I have in terms of formalizing the platform and everything, but they can reach out to me through my social media platforms. My social media handles are Peace Banda on everything. So Peace Banda on Facebook, Peace Banda on TikTok, and Peace Banda on Instagram. So I just have these 3 platforms for now. I'm on Twitter, but I'm not really much active on that space. So, but if they can reach me on these platforms, we can be able to engage and identify, because also the sessions are curated according to your practicality. So if you are, for example, a mom or you're a student, we identify what is the most practical way in which we can handle the session. Is it in the evenings? Is it in the mornings? Is it online? Do you want a one-on-one session? Should we sit and then go through some of these things, practice? Because also there's a practical component where you have to practice this, because like they say, we can't teach you how to swim through the book. At some point you have to get wet. So the same even for speaking. Yeah, so at some point we have to do the actual practice. And so they are curated according to the availability of the individual.
All right, we out.